This Vauxhall Astra was heading for the scrapyard, and how it is right now, I've only got two options as to what I do with this car. Now I think I know which option I'm going to choose, but option one is we get cracking on with doing the timing chain and the head gasket right now, and we just film another video on the driveway with the Astra. Or we go for option number two, which is my personal favourite, and that is to get this car the best we can possibly get it, book it in for an MOT, and actually take it on the road and drive it and see what happens. I think we should go for that one. This Vauxhall Astra cost me just £150, and if I didn't buy it, the scrapyard would. Oh no, we've done it again, boys. I bought this car with a suspected blown head gasket, mayo under the oil cap and in the rocker cover, and of course with this being a Vauxhall, it had an engine light on the dashboard. Firstly, I did a few tests for the head gasket issue, but couldn't find anything wrong. I then diagnosed the engine warning light, which turned out to be an O2 sensor, which we replaced, gave it 4 brand new spark plugs, a fresh oil filter and a fresh oil change. But one thing I found while doing all of this was that the timing chain was very loose, which isn't great. So taking this for a drive could end up being a costly mistake. Now I already know that the timing chain is pretty loose in this car, so when we do take it for a drive, I'm not going to be putting my foot down and going stupid, because if I can, I kind of want to save this engine. But at the same time, I do know that this could easily end up at the side of the road completely broken. But I've done a bit of research and I've found a second engine if I do need one on Facebook, and that engine is only 200 quid. It's the exact same engine as what is in the car. I know you guys want me to do a VXR swap on this, but I just want to use this as a daily once it's done. So I think for the sake of content and for the sake that a new engine is only 200 quid, it'll be pretty funny to take this for a drive, see what it does on the MOTs and see if we can actually get it passed. And if it survives this test, then I'm definitely gonna try and kind of rebuild this engine. We'll do the timing chain, we'll do the head gasket, and we'll make sure that we try and save this engine. But for now, we need to get it ready for an MOT. In the last video, while I was trying to get the oil filter housing off, with these being plastic, it ended up rounding off. So I headed to the scrapyard and found a replacement, which ended up not being the right part. But luckily, there's one man that could sort it. And if there's anyone that could find me one, it was gonna be Motorstop. They've hooked me up with a brand new oil filter housing for this car, for this engine. It does fit, so we can finally get the oil in this car. We'll get the oil changed, we'll run it up, see what it is like, and I guess all we can do is go from there. All I need to do now is put the brand new oil filter into the oil filter housing and put it all back together, and this time not over tighten it. Then I took my jack for a walk because we need to get under the car to put the sump plug back in. Since last video, I actually haven't even put the sump plug back in. So I've left the oil draining underneath the car because we did the flush. And even still, every time I move the car somewhat, it is still draining out. So I think by now it's pretty much all drained out the car. So we can go ahead and fill this thing back up with oil, starting with putting the sump plug back in. A massive shout out again to Motorstop in Belper. They're the people that have hooked me up with all the parts to hopefully get this Astra back on the road. Now all we've got to do is put the sump plug back in and torque it up to spec. Drop the car back down so we can start filling it up with oil. And it is now time to finally fill this thing up with oil. Maybe for the last time. What an absolute flipping idiot. Honestly. There's one way of making another oil leak, and that's just chucking oil down the side of the engine. Luckily, I had a Coke bottle that I could cut in half and use that as a funnel. And that is job done. Now I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you most likely own a car and a driving license. But how many of you have actually thought about investing in a dash cam? Well, luckily this video is sponsored by viofo, and they want me to tell you about their brand new 4K A229 Pro dash cam. Trust me, this is a proper bit of kit, and if you want to protect yourself on the road, then I'd definitely invest in one of these. Not only that, but you can also bring your premium down on your insurance. You get everything you need in the box: a rear facing camera, an interior facing camera, and also a front facing camera with all the wires to plug it all in. These little bad boys can record in 1080p, 2K and even 4K using the Sony Starvis 2 sensors. And while I'm getting them set up, it's probably worth mentioning that all 3 channels of these dash cams support HDR function.
Another amazing feature is the interior cameras have light sensors and IR cut tech to record better images even in low light. And if you've tried other dash cams and just can't get them to sit at the right angle, well, don't worry, because these ones actually turn 360 degrees. So you won't miss anything that happens on the road.
All I've got to do now is use these cables which come in the kit, plug everything in, and we are good to go. If you want to hardwire the kit, you can also do that, because viofo actually sell the dashcam HK4 hardwire kit. I'm going to sort these wires out later, but we are all wired up. Let's go give it a quick test.
And as you can tell, the quality is absolutely amazing. It tells you the time, date, what format you're recording in, and even your miles per hour. I'm proper impressed with this little camera.
So if you or a friend want to take more care on the road and cover yourself with a dash cam, I'll leave all the links in the description to viofo. This is a proper bit of kit. I definitely recommend checking it out. And a massive thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Let's carry on with this disaster. Well, hopefully we've gave this car the best chance it can possibly get of actually at least getting to the MOT station. We've gave it 4 brand new spark plugs, we've gave it a brand new oil filter, a brand new sump plug, and a nice fresh oil change. The only thing that might let us down is the battery problem, which we're going to have to nip back to the scrapyard and get a new boot motor, because somewhere under here there's a mechanism, like a release mechanism, and I think the motor for some weird reason is just releasing the boot, and that is why all the lights are coming on, including like the boot light, all the interior lights to say that there's a door open, and that is why the battery is getting drained. That's something that we need to sort out before we go to the MOT station, because we don't want the battery running out while the guy's trying to run the car. So I think we should head back to the scrapyard and go get another boot motor. Well, a little bit of good news is that the scrapyard does have quite a few Astras in stock. But one mistake I'm not going to make like I did last time, and that is going without the part. So I'm going to take the boot mechanism out now so we can head to the scrapyard, match it up with one that's there, and make sure that it is the right one. Let's get it off.
To take the boot mechanism out, all you've got to do is pull this plastic carpet liner off, and then it's just 3 bolts and 1 plug, and the mechanism comes straight out.
Well, luckily we have now got the part number so we can cross-reference it when we get to the scrapyard, and I'm not going to make the same mistake as last time by forgetting my tools to actually take it off. So let's head back to the scrapyard.
Now, I know I keep getting asked this in the comment section below. Yes, this is Albert Looms. It's my local scrapyard, being only about half an hour away from where I live, and it's one of the only scrapyards I know of that you can just go walk around yourself and take parts off as you wish. And with Vauxhalls being Vauxhalls, there is loads in the scrapyard.
Come on, please have a boot mechanism. No, it's been taken.
The only annoying thing here is I kept finding a load of Vauxhalls, but the boots were closed, and obviously there's no longer a key with the car, or I don't know where the key is, so you couldn't actually get in the boot. Well, that's until I did a little bit of research and found out that some of the boot mechanisms actually have a little lever on them. But then I realised that the one I'm looking for didn't have a lever, so I'm not sure actually how you'd open the boot of the Astra if you needed to without the key.
No luck. Maybe we'll just have to spray a bit of WD-40 on this one. I can't believe out of this whole scrapyard there's not one. Oh my god, it's so cold. There is not one Mark V Astra being broken. And judging by the state mine's in, that's quite surprising. Now, even though we couldn't find another boot mechanism, that isn't the most of our worries. I've actually booked this car in for an MOT, so we need to hurry up and get it ready for its MOT. And I also haven't even ran it up to temperature to see if it overheats. So we've got a lot to do. Let's crack on with it.
First things first, we had to chuck the rear mechanism back in the boot so we could open and close the boot. And then I decided to give the car a clean just to get some extra points on the MOT. Because a clean car might mean a clean MOT.
I Okay, I've gave the interior a good clean just to get extra points at the MOT station, and I guess the only thing left to do is actually do our pre-MOT check. So that's all the lights, all the fluids, washer fluid, etc, etc. I'll double check the oil, and then I think we should just run the car up to temperature and see how we get on, and then it'll be time to hit the road and see what happens. We could probably break down. First things first, let's actually turn the car on because the battery's completely dead, so I can't even put the indicators and stuff like that on. So let's turn it on. This is the first time I'm going to be turning it on since doing the oil change, so hopefully we can kind of see an improvement on what it sounds like. Right, let's do our checks. Well, to be honest, apart from a little bit of timing belt squeal, the engine actually sounds all right, but let's actually do our checks and make sure this has got the best chance it has of actually passing an MOT. So first things first, I'm just going to check all the hazard lights are definitely working, because that is a must. And while we're here, we'll turn all the fog lights on and make sure they're working as well. Okay, that side indicator's working, the back light indicators are working, the back lights are working. I don't know where the fog light is on this car. This light's working. I think this will be the fog light here. That one's considerably brighter than this one, but both them are working. The number plate lights, okay, only one of them's working, but I think that might just be an advisory. At the front, the bottom two fog lights are working, and the indicators are working, and the front lights are working, which is good. Let me just give the car, let me just turn the main beams on, the full beam, and see if both of them are working, which they are. This is good. Is the other side indicator working? That side indicator is working. This is actually looking pretty hopeful. Now if I turn all of these off, because they'll definitely be draining the battery. Have we got wiper fluid, washer fluid, whatever it's called? We have got washer fluid. What else do we need to check? Tyres. That one's pretty much brand new. He did say it had brand new tyres last year, so yeah, that one's pretty much brand new. That one's brand new, and that one's brand new. Do you know what? Apart from the fact that underneath of it is got a lot of kind of oil residue from the rocker cover leak, I am going to tell him that it has since been fixed. I think the actual car itself seems all right for an MOT, but what do I know? I guess it's time that we just hit the road and see what happens. Get me a fingers crossed down in the comments, because I don't know where I'm going to end up later today. Probably in an RAC van. All right, well, here goes nothing. First ever drive in the Astra. Well, we're on the dual carriageway now. We're at 50 miles an hour, and there's no smoke at all coming out the back. Like, there's no smoke whatsoever. The engine, like, it's making that kind of rotational ticking noise, so I do think the timing chain probably has stretched, and that's what's making the noise. But apart from it needing an alignment, it's actually an alright car. Like, it drives okay. This was definitely not worth scrapping. It's savable, this car. I'm certain of it. I might eat my words, touch wood, but so far so good. Everything's kind of doing as it should.
Everything is actually looking really good. The car isn't overheating at all. The engine warning light had stayed off, which means the O2 sensor has definitely fixed that engine warning light. And also there's no smoke whatsoever coming out the back of the car. Do you know what? I think we've got a minter here.
I can smell something, and I can't really pinpoint what I can smell, but it doesn't smell good. Are we smoking? We're not smoking, we're not overheating, we've not got an engine light. I don't know, it's a bit like a burning oil smell, which is completely normal, to be fair. So yeah, I think it's burning oil. I think we're okay. At the moment, it's not really got much sign of a head gasket, so well, I guess we'll carry on and see. Well, we are only 9 minutes away, and so far
this car hasn't skipped a beat. It does smell a little bit when I come to a stop at some lights or whatever, but it's actually going okay. There's no smoke, there's no engine light on the dashboard still. The gearbox and the clutch actually feel really, really nice. I'm pretty sure the previous owner did say that he had a clutch fitted last year before it kind of came off the road, so that'd make sense as to why that feels so good. But there's no knocks, no bangs. I think apart from the engine on this car, as a car goes, it's actually not too bad. But we've still got 9 minutes left. It could all go wrong, so I guess we'll just have to see what happens from here. Oh, and we've also got to get back. Well, with us being 2 minutes away, I can safely say that we've actually made it. We have actually made it in the Astra. If I'm being honest, I really did think this car wasn't going to make it. But we've arrived at the MOT station. All I've got to do now is cross my fingers and leave it in the hands of the MOT tester. Pretty much the majority of that Mayo stuff has gone just by doing a 40-minute drive. So I'm pretty sure this isn't head gasket and none of the coolant's dropped whatsoever. So that is at least some good news. Now, you're probably wondering whether it's passed or failed, and I can confirm it has failed, but it's on things that I didn't expect, and for £150 I'm actually really chuffed with the only things that are wrong with this car. Let me show you what's wrong. As you can see, the car has unfortunately failed. The minors are just advisories. There's an oil leak, but we do know that is now fixed, so that isn't the end of the world. The brake disc could probably do with being changed. That isn't the end of the world. We've got a number plate light out. We'll probably just get some LED ones in the future, but the things that aren't safe to drive the car are the brakes and a rear axle bush. Let me show you what's wrong. So on the passenger side front, you can clearly see that brake disc hasn't been doing anything whatsoever. So we've either got an ABS pump fault, which is a common thing apparently on these cars. The ABS pump electrics go a little bit weird, but luckily there's somewhere that could fix that, or it's a seized piston in the caliper, or there's something going on with the brake line. So before I either leave the car here or rebook it in for an MOT, I'm just going to quickly test the ABS pipe. So I'm going to take the pipe off. If I undo the pipe that goes to this caliper, press the brake pedal, and the pedal goes all the way to the floor, then that is a good sign. Then it's probably just something to do with the actual caliper or one of the lines, and the pedal stays solid, then we've probably got a fault with the ABS pump. So let's find out. The ABS pump is located under the coolant bottle. All I'm going to do is try and figure out which hose it is that goes down to the passenger side front caliper, and then I'm going to undo it, ready for the test. Right, here we go. Moment of truth. Ready? Pedal still feels not rock hard, but like it still feels like it's got pressure. Is it the pump? Yeah, it definitely still feels like there's pressure in there. And unfortunately, it was the more expensive part out of the two which could have gone wrong. All it leaves me to do now is take the ABS pump off, phone the company that is going to do the repair on it, and hopefully we can get this problem sorted as soon as possible. I'm going to leave the Astra here for a bit, and then we're going to come back to it in next video and hopefully sort it all out in one and get another MOT. Well, after all that was wrong with the good old Astra was this ABS pump and an axle bush. I don't think that is too bad of a result. We are going to be doing the timing chain, and also I'm pretty sure the head gasket is absolutely fine. So we'll get this sorted, we'll get that axle bush sorted, but that will have to be in next video. If you did enjoy this one, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next.
You wear a hat they call dad. Me, I'm the dad in a hat. You just like clubbing and clothes. Me, I like afternoon naps. 3 I be missed for the road. My oldest like counting racks. My middle one, she's in a dirt bike. My youngest is just like a mama.